You ready to fiesta, Tyler?
I'm ready to fiesta.
You know what we're doing, Tyler?
No, even though you just said it, but yeah, what are you doing?
We are doing tequila infusions for Cinco de Mayo. And then we're not just infusing tequila, we're going to be making cocktails out of it too. I'm going to chop up some ginger. This is gonna be for one of our cocktails. Just taking the ginger, it's been like rinsed off just to make sure there's no like dirt, but you can leave the skin on, that's fine. We're gonna strain all this later.
Does it matter how big the ginger pieces are?
This is kind of experimental, so you just kind of take whatever ingredient you think would be great to infuse, and you kind of just play around with the ratios. I did these long strips just so there's more of the surface area of the ginger showing.
Okay.
When I did smaller disc rounds, it seemed to take longer to infuse. So you want the most surface area touching the liquid. And then I put a lot more ginger. My test batch had just a few pieces of ginger, so I put a whole ton of ginger in this batch and let it sit overnight. What I found with the ginger is that this one takes longer to get the flavor out of the ginger, I think because it's so tough, so fibrous. Partner method.
Yeah, there we go. Hello.
So you don't want to understeep by like leaving it in there like an hour and then it just kind of tastes like a hint of that, because by the time it makes it to the cocktail, you're not going to get this flavor at all.
Right.
But you don't want to oversteep either. A lot of the like little bits, the skin and everything could make it bitter over time.
Got it. Okay.
So you definitely want to make sure you strain it out. And you could even use like cheesecloth or a coffee filter, something that is a lot finer and gets out all those little particles. If you're gonna drink it right away, it's probably not a big deal. But if you want to store it for a while, I would strain it really, really well, just so all those little bits aren't still like infusing and tainting the flavor. There we go, there's our ginger.
Nice.
Yeah, so kind of three easy steps. Chop it up, infuse it, let it sit. There's no exact science to how long you actually do it, the amounts. What's good is just kind of think about how much of the cocktail you want to make.
Right.
And make that much. You don't want to infuse the whole bottle, it come out bad, or you don't like it, and then now you've wasted a whole bottle of this valuable tequila. There's a little bit left, Tyler. Do you want to do an experimental one?
Sure, let's see.
So I have a lot of options of things you can try. What do you think would be good? I did a hibiscus earlier. This is an ancho chili, which is great about the anchos. It's kind of like raisiny.
Yeah.
It's more fruity. It's not as spicy.
Right.
You could also do fresh chilies.
Sometimes I do like water infusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do mint, cucumber, and lemon. It's nice and refreshing. So why don't we do that with the tequila?
Okay, yeah, let's try it. Let's do a little test batch. Then that way you don't have to waste much if you don't like the flavor combinations. That's what's great too, is you can combine a lot of flavors together. So you could do like an orange peel and chili. You could do a cinnamon. I did a cinnamon and cardamom one as a test batch. You could do mint and cucumber. So really play around with the flavors. The good thing about tequila, or like any alcohol, is the alcohol, for some reason, you know, like you do infused waters, the alcohol like extracts more of the flavor out and does it a lot quicker. Some science behind it. There's magic happening in the alcohol. At the liquor store, at the store, you can buy all sorts of infused or flavored things like vanilla vodka, vanilla whatever. But when you do it yourself, you can control the quality of the ingredients. You can get organic ingredients and do it. That's good to use. So that's what I really like, is you can really control like what goes into your infusion. I think if anything's like fragrant in the grocery store or has like a good aroma, a good scent, it should lend well to infusing. What's really important is to label and put all the details of your infusion. So I got these labels here. Usually I put like the date, and then you don't have to put it on the label, but somewhere you can put like what time you started the steep and like what time you ended it. And the way I tested is I would just give it a little sniff every hour or two, a little sniff and yes, a little spoonful just to taste to see how strong the infusion was. And once I was happy, I took it out. And once you find something you like, you can replicate it in a bigger batch by just kind of playing with the ratios. It's all experimentation. So like this is arbol chilies. So I did 2 testers. I did one with seeds, just the whole chilies in there, just broke them up. And then I did one without seeds. I found that the one with seeds was, of course, a lot spicier. And after a little bit, it got super bitter. So I think the stems and the seeds and all that was lending to like it maybe getting like a more bitter flavor. So then I went with just the pods. I dumped out as much of the seeds as I can. A few seeds is fine. And it was much better. And the teas I discovered go really quickly. So you really want to watch those, maybe only give them a few hours. Because just like if you're making tea, you don't want to oversteep it. Same thing with the infusion. So those usually go pretty quick. So this is a fun one, Tyler. We're going to make a ginger infused tequila green tea margarita. So it's basically all the components of a margarita with ginger infused tequila. It's cocktail time for Tyler and I.
Yeah, just what I needed.
So which one do you want, Tyler? Do you want matcha or just regular green tea?
I personally like matcha.
We'll go with matcha.
Let's go. All right, let's do matcha.
So juice some of that lime in there.
All right.
And then this is just some honey simple syrup just to sweeten it up a little bit. So cut me some like lime wheels out of that, if you would. I'm gonna get shaking. So I just use silver tequila just because it's like the most neutral flavored. Reposado and añejo, they're like aged.
Okay.
So they'll have like a bit more of their own quality. Plus those are meant to be enjoyed like by themselves, like either sipping or a shot or, you know, without a super complex cocktail. The Blanco or the silver tequila is really great just because it's like super neutral and usually it's the least expensive.
That's good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, this does look good. I would say this is a winner.
It's good. This is good.
It's like light, refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler.
What?
We forgot the Cointreau in it.
Let's stir it in.
Obviously, it was delicious without it, but normal tequila or normal margarita recipe has a little bit of that orange liqueur in it. Even better.
Actually, yeah, I think that tastes really good.
It's really good with the matcha.
I think so. I mean, get my extra antioxidants.
Yeah, exactly. And this one's great too, because leave out the honey simple, and then it's more of like a skinny cocktail. Leaving out a lot of the calories by leaving out the syrup, and it's just as delicious. You might get a little bit more of that tequila punch, put a little bit more lime in there, but yeah, you could definitely do a lighter, less, no sugar version of this, and it would be just as delicious. All right, cocktail one down. Let's try another?
Yeah.
All right, let's try another. This cocktail, we did the Arbol infused tequila, so I'm gonna start straining this.
You spilled.
Hazardous, wasted gold.
Party foul.
So we're gonna put frozen mango in there. 16 ounces of frozen mango, just a little bit of ice. We're gonna measure our tequila in there.
Tequila's already setting in, huh?
And it's the Arbol, so it's gonna like have a lot of spice.
Nice.
It'll be really good, balance out all the sweetness. I love sweet and spicy, like a jalapeno margarita. I love those. This is just a little pineapple juice.
Oh, yeah.
You could use pineapple juice, orange juice, even a little bit of water. I just wanted to kick up the flavor with some pineapple juice.
Why not?
Little simple syrup just to sweeten everything up. If you would rim these, so a little bit in the chamoy and a little bit in the tajin. A little bit more simple and a little bit more tequila.
Okay, there we go.
A little tequila to thin this out. Ooh.
So that's one.
Excellent job on this. So are you a tequila fan, Tyler?
It's alcohol, so I'll still drink it. These do sound very good.
Sometimes I'll do a little bit of the tequila in the bottom of the glass, and then you pour the chili mango in there.
Yeah.
And then it'll just give you like a little float of that extra Arbol chili infused tequila. And I love these chilies because they have a lot of flavor. They're not just like hot for hot's sake. And the dried chilies work really well because, I mean, dried chilies are supposed to be reconstituted. They're for salsas, sauces, and everything. So they work perfectly in this.
Nice.
Awesome job. These look great.
Thank you.
And you get a lot of that punch, that heat, but the mango and the lime like smooths it out.
I could find myself like having on like a really hot day just at the pool.
Yeah.
Actually,
Tropical beach cocktail.
Oh yeah.
If you like spicy, if you like mango, this one's great. And you could do a pineapple version of this. Any kind of tropical fruit I think would be really excellent with this spicy Arbol tequila. If you wanted to do a version of this, I would make the simple syrup and infuse the simple syrup with the chilies. So then that way you get the sweetness, you get the heat, none of the alcohol. You would just kind of like bring this up to a low simmer, the simple syrup up to a low simmer. Do the same thing, crack open those pods of the chilies, dump the seeds out, and then that way you have a virgin cocktail. We're on to dessert now. Tequila in a dessert cocktail I think is so good. So if you'd rim our glasses over here, that's just some heavy cream, and that is powdered Mexican hot cocoa. So the Mexican hot cocoa has like spices in it. There's a little like chili and cinnamon and whole bunch of like other flavors. So it's a lot more like savory. It's a lot more balanced to the spiciness than normal hot chocolate, which is just like sweet and chocolate. I think that's why it works so well in this cocktail. So yeah, this is a vanilla chai infused tequila with Mexican hot chocolate. So Couldn't be any easier. You can play around. You could add a little heavy cream or half and half to this cocktail to make it a little more milky, a little more creamy. So this is Mexican hot chocolate I made earlier, but of course I chilled it. So you just bring the puck to a boil. They also sell a powder, that's what this is. Bring it to a boil, mix it up really good. You could whisk it. I actually threw it in a blender to make it like really smooth and creamy. This one's gonna have a lot of that liquor punch because it's more of like a martini, so it's all spirit forward.
It's my kind of drink.
Try to do my Tom Cruise bartending techniques.
Ooh, look at that. Looks
nice and creamy. Also probably just add espresso to this if you want like a coffee, chocolate, dirty chai situation happening. We can plop a cinnamon stick in there.
Just
and oh, something special. Do a little dusting of cinnamon on top.
Why not?
You could find maybe some chai spice, dust that on top, and
bottoms up.
There we go.
Oh yeah. Not tequila.
So much more boozy, but it definitely has that like spice. The vanilla comes through a lot from the chai.
Yeah.
And it's more that martini vibe. The chocolate's really great in here. I just like the sweetness.
Yeah, I really like it. The chai spice definitely is, I think, what makes this.
I went with the vanilla chai just because it's easy to get tea packets and fuse those. But you could also do your own blend of like teas and spices. So I did a cardamom, a cinnamon, a clove mix. That was a lot more spice forward. The vanilla chai I think is a little bit more mellow.
Yeah.
So yeah, play around with your infusions. See what you get. For like the winter holidays, just make a warm version of this. Use the same infused tequila and just use your hot chocolate there, and you have like a warm hot chocolate. You can do any milk. Coconut milk would be great, almond milk. Heat it up, make sure this is well dissolved, well incorporated.
Right.
Just have the chai infused tequila, pour that over some ice, maybe a little coconut milk just directly in there, and then you just have like a tequila chai drink. That could be good too. Storing this stuff?
Yeah.
So I kind of like to make it in batches small enough where I know I'm gonna like, if you're having a party, you're gonna just use it up right away or use it up that night so you don't have to store it. But these usually keep up to a couple days to a week. If I did a cucumber or like a fruit or something, I'd probably keep it in the refrigerator because you'd want to keep any of those solids that made it through, you'd want to keep those cold.
Right.
But most of the time you could just keep it room temperature, just in a cool, dry place, out of the sunlight. Should last a couple days to a few weeks.
Gotcha.
But I don't think that would even last that long around my house. It'd just be gone. Try these flavors. I think we might share some additional variations or suggestions on top of this, but
maybe a future video.
Enjoy.
Maybe a future video?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
So good. I love this stuff. So, I mean,